Hey YouTube, here is your official crop report for Saturday evening, July 9th, 2022 from Farmhand Mike. This is the first field of soybeans we planted. I actually did get to plant these field. These were conventional. We worked this field here, planted them. These were planted at the end of April and they're looking pretty good. They're getting to be about a foot tall. Let's have a look. Looks like we got some beetle damage here, as you can see. Looks like we got 3 beetles there. One's on top of the other and the other one's watching. I'm not sure what's going on there, but they're also eating the soybeans up. And what do we got going on here? Looks like they're wrestling or something. Is there 3 of them in there? I don't know. I didn't know beetles were into that kind of stuff. I just looked back and I planted this field on it was a Friday evening. It was April 29th. I did do a YouTube video while I was in this field. That video is on my channel if you want to go back and check that out. But anyways, as you can see from the sky, they're looking decent. Now we'll head over and we'll look at the first field of corn that was planted. It is catty corner across the road from me right now. We'll head over there. All right, you can see the corn behind me is in tassel. Now, not all the corn in the area is in tassel. This was the first field planted. We had the cool, wet spring. Things got off to a decent start. And then we just went through a pretty good dry spell here, but we just had about 4 1/4 inches of rain, and the crops really needed it. So the corn's not real high, but it does look good, especially after this rain. And we'll have a look here. So this is, by the road here, but you can see the corn is looking good. I'm in the corn now. It's taller than me. Sometimes it gets a lot taller than this, but we got the tassels up here and we got the silk on the ear. So things should be pretty good. But overall, corn's looking pretty good in here, nice and thick, nice and green. We're supposed to go about 10 days here till the next chance of rain pops up, but this time of year that could change. Hot, humid, and you just never know what might pop up. But anyways, let's go have a look at another field. But let's have a drone look at this field first. So this field was planted on a Sunday. This was the first field planted. I was planting soybeans just a few miles away. Anyways, these were planted on Sunday afternoon of May 1st. But overall, corn's waving in the wind and looking pretty good. And of course, with the crop rotation we do here in Western Ohio, this field was soybeans last year. We did run the high-speed disc over this field last fall. It sat over the winter and did hit it with the field cultivator this spring prior to planting it. And this field was planted a couple weeks after the field I just showed you, but you can see it's coming along nice and green. And let's look between the rows here. So that cover crop of cereal rye that was sprayed with a burn down, you can see it's just kind of going away. And the corn's just looking really good. Remember that YouTube video where I said I hope I don't have to side dress this field? Well, I'm side dressing this field. Here's that very same field I just showed you as I was side dressing this. This was on Monday, June 6th, and it was just with this cover crop in here. It was catching up on the knives and stuff like you see here, but overall it wasn't too bad. We got a good rain right after this. Just had to get out and unclog these a couple times, but overall it went pretty good. And you see what the corn looks like a month later. It's really doing well. This field here always yields really well, and I've actually been doing a cover crop on this field every fall right after harvest. So we take this corn off here. We'll probably do some yield checks in this field for sure, and then we'll work it and just broadcast on a cover crop of cereal rye again, and then next year this field will be soybeans. Looking back, I'm really glad I did take those shots while I was side dressing that field. It's pretty neat to see how fast the corn changes in a month's time. We don't realize it when we see it every day, but just going back a month, how short this was, and you can see that cover crop of cereal rye in between the rows, and now that's pretty well broken down, and the corn's really taken over. These soybeans look pretty good here. This field was corn last year. We ran the high-speed disc over it last fall, planted soybeans right into it. They're coming along really nice, as you can see. And with the two fields I just showed you being side by side, we'll fly over from this corn, over across the drainage ditch, into the soybeans. But like I said, pretty good stand of crops here. That rain we got really saved everybody. I talked to some farmers not too far away over in Indiana that really got nothing. So I guess we're pretty fortunate we got over 4 inches. And the ground soaked it up pretty good. And there is a little bit of ponding water in places, but overall, not too bad. I already posted this video right here, but I'm just going to show you the field now. So on June 5th, Dick Levy Farms, who has a bunch of fields right around where I live, was out here no-tilling soybeans into last year's corn stalks, and they were going at an angle to the corn rows. And it really looked kind of neat. If you go back and watch that video, you'll see what I'm talking about. But these soybeans are coming up nice now through the corn rows. So I wanted to just go down the road. The sun was hitting the soybeans just right and show you what they look like. I drove by this field a few nights ago and thought it looked pretty neat, and I thought, you know, I should really include this in my next crop report video. So here you go. Here's a good look at it. You can see the corn rows going one way and the soybeans that were no-tilled in going the other. So the planter footage you just saw with the Case International stuff was on June 5th, and here we are on July 9th. Soybeans are coming up nice. Now, you go back on my channel, you can find that video, but these soybeans here were planted on a 20-inch row spacing. And most of the corn in the area is planted on a 30-inch row spacing, so I guess the advantage to running at an angle was they never have to worry about one of the planter units getting on top of a row of corn stalks the whole way through the field. And since I planted this field, I figured we better show it. This was actually the second field planted. This field was no-till soybeans in the last year's corn stalks. They're looking pretty good. Let's have a look. I know him. Here's a couple pictures from the day that I actually planted this field. So this was on Sunday, May 1st, and just planted right between the rows of corn. These were on 15-inch row spacings here. And as you can see, almost 2 months and a few days later, things are looking a lot different. May 1st, July 9th. And that's going to do it for your crop report for Saturday evening, July 9th, 2022. If you like this video, please go down there and hit that like button. Feel free to comment below. If you're new to my YouTube channel, please go down there and hit subscribe. And if you want to see more of what I'm doing, what I'm filming, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Farmhand Mike. And as always, thanks for watching and supporting my social media. See you on the next one.